bonjour and ahoy. For 20 years, GlobeSec has been at the heart of Central and Eastern Europe, shaping dialogue, driving change, and building relations. In times of upheaval and faced with chaos, now, more than ever, Europe needs to step up and command its destiny. Today, the 2025 GlobeSec Forum meets 2 decades of irreversible impact. I'm Roger Hilton, and over the course of the next 3 days, I'll be bringing you updates from our flagship conference and from the second edition of the GlobeSec Geotech Summit. From the Hilton Prague, let's get going. The 2025 GlobeSec Defense Roundtable started the day off on the Albright stage, with participants reflecting on the lessons learned from Ukraine and how European firms can evolve their products and address the needs of today, with inputs from European Commissioner for Defense, Industry and Space, Andrius Kubilius, and former Minister of Strategic Industries of Ukraine, Oleksandr Kamyshin. With the Havel stage packed to capacity, GlobeSec president and founder Robert Vash delivered the official welcome and called for stepping up and leading with responsibility to build a future others want to follow. Shortly afterwards, Czech President Petr Pavel delivered a keynote on Europe not wavering in responding to the expectations it confronted, followed by a dynamic chat with GlobeSec's Robert Vash. Against this backdrop, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky joined via video link in Kiev and emphasized the importance of increasing economic pressure on Russia while containing it through comprehensive security guarantees. Back on the Schwarzenberg stage, the Geotech Summit, voices from the public and private sector as well as think tank engaged in an energetic exchange about securing and redefining critical infrastructure in the digital era. Back on the Havel stage, Czech Prime Minister Petr Fiala made an impassioned plea to get into an active mindset about security on the continent and reminding us of the many strengths that Europe can realistically build on. A timely and informative chat on the future of UK-EU relations in a volatile world yielded a lot of hope for close engagement in a time when integrity of European security and defense is essential. European Investment Bank President Nadia Calvino outlined her vision for financing Europe's future that looked to support the whole innovation cycle and partnering up with the private sector. The theme of European defense remained a driving topic, as Deputy Speaker of the Czech Parliament and Shadow Prime Minister Karel Havlicek emphasized smart investments and efficiency as a cornerstone of increased defense spending. Shifting to the global south, an eclectic set of expert voices argued that Europe remains a credible partner that delivers in its partnerships. At the GlobeSec Young Leaders Forum, the Minister of European Affairs of the Kingdom of Denmark, Marie Berrier, outlined Denmark's EU priorities and engaged in a spirited question and answer session with the cohort. Back on the Albright stage, the Geotech Summit dove deep into the issue of critical shortages and solving the raw materials challenge, pointing out hard work that Europe has cut out for itself to cut the dependencies. On the Havel stage, a host of European affairs ministers and experts discussed the EU's path forward on enlargement, defending democracy, and cutting red tape. Keeping on the tech train, an assortment of voices shared their views on expanding the West's global tech partnership into Latin America, Asia, and Africa, as well as towards the private sector. A keynote by Pavel Sirani, vice chairman of the board of Ches Group, argued for more integration in energy to enhance Europe's security. To round out the day, a multifaceted panel of government voices expanded on energy integration as the key to resilience while remaining open to collaboration beyond Europe. What an inspiring first day of opinions, expert inputs, and strategies. But we're not going anywhere. Follow us on social media and see you on day 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Richard Jozwiak.
Good morning, everyone. Second day of the GlobeSec Forum. Maybe some of you was at the award ceremony last night. Yeah, did you enjoy it? Some, yeah, you did, yeah. So 2 guys who definitely enjoyed it were the 2 award winners, Andrius Kubilius, the Defense Commissioner, and Tomáš Pojar, the Czech National Security Advisor. I've been nominated 3 times now, so next year. Anyway, there's going to be more tonight. Not awards, not speeches, cocktails, Shoffin Island, remember that one. There will be buses going there, I will tell you about that later. As you may know, there is the 20th anniversary of GlobSec, and you will see on stages today that, or in the screens, that people will send in happy birthday greetings to us. And so can you. If you scan the code and record something, you can wish us a nice happy birthday. 20, it's a good time to be alive. So please do that as well. But of course, serious business as well today. We have 3 stages today as well. The Havel stage here, the Schwarzenberg stage next to us, and of course on the mezzanine, the Albright stage. And now, enough of that. Please let me introduce you to the Foreign Minister of Czechia, Mr. Jan Lipavský.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues and friends. It's always a pleasure to speak at the GlobSec Forum, and even more so on this round 20th anniversary. So wholehearted congratulations, GlobSec, on your young adulthood. As last year, I'm honored to open the second day of this prestigious conference. I appreciate that the GlobSec Forum takes place in the Czech capital. For more reason, Prague is the perfect place for these high-level dialogues on security, foreign policy, freedom, and democracy. Thank you to GlobSec colleagues for choosing Prague as the forum's venue, and I'm glad that the attendance is excellent and the program is so promising, addressing the real challenges of today. We are living through a time of profound transformation. The world around us is shifting. War on our continent, the weaponization of trade, the race for technological dominance, and the climate crisis are all challenging the world order we have known for decades. This is the 20th annual GlobSec Forum, and arguably the geopolitical situation is even more complex than ever before. At the heart of this multi-crisis landscape lies Russia's aggression against Ukraine. This conflict is both regional and geopolitical. How we respond will shape the future of European security, the strength of the transatlantic partnership, and the stability of the global order for decades to come. A principle often cited in this context is peace through strength. In the 80s, this approach, championed by the Reagan administration, contributed to the collapse of the Soviet Empire and brought freedom, security, and prosperity to Central and Eastern Europe. The critical question is how to adapt this principle to the realities of the 21st century. The starting point is clear. We must provide Ukraine with sufficient military and economic support to become a steel porcupine capable of robust self-defense. At the same time, we must exert sustained pressure on Russia to limit its ability to wage war. Sanctions remain a vital tool in curbing the modernization of Russia's military. Russia will not abandon its ambitions voluntarily. It must be deterred and constrained by others. It is naive to believe that the Kremlin is dramatically increasing its military budget solely for the prevailing in Ukraine or for parades on Red Square. Nor we should expect Moscow to cease its influence operations, sabotage, and hybrid attacks aimed at weakening democracies, polarizing societies, and intimidating populations across Europe. Ukraine is a test we cannot afford to fail. It is a test of European resolve and responsibility. If existing institutional frameworks prove inadequate or too slow to respond, we must go for new formats. A coalition of committed European countries has already emerged, determined to support Ukraine both on the battlefield and at the negotiation table. This coalition aims to demonstrate that Europe is ready to lead, to exert pressure on Russia to negotiate in good faith, and, together with the United States, to pave the way for a ceasefire and a secure future for Ukraine. Czechia is proud to be part of this effort. Security is not for free. Supporting Ukraine is not an act of charity, it is a strategic imperative. It is an investment in our collective security, prosperity, and credibility. A strong, sovereign Ukraine is essential for a stable Europe. And a stable Europe is the cornerstone of a resilient and enduring transatlantic relationship. I repeat, in this test of Ukraine, we must not fail. Investing in our own security is essential for a balanced transatlantic dialogue. It is in our strategic interest to ensure that the United States remains engaged in European security. A stronger Europe creates the conditions for sustained US involvement. The European Commission has announced a plan to strengthen Europe's defense capabilities. This is a welcome step. Economic strength is as vital as military power. We need to have them advance hand in hand. Europe will never be fully sovereign without a robust industrial base, cutting-edge science, and innovative research. We must invest in cybersecurity and emerging technologies. These investments in security are also investment in our scientific and industrial future, in other words, in our long-term prosperity. The final element is societal resilience, the readiness to defend and the willingness to contribute to our collective security. The coherence of our steps in countering Russian hybrid attacks is crucial. It includes sharing information on the methods and tactics of foreign interference. It requires setting limits to free movement of Russian diplomatic staff, which Russian intelligence skillfully exploits. And Czechia has been proving this to our partners, and many agree. Unfortunately, there is still some reluctance to be more decisive on the Kremlin. The more united and determined Europe and the other democracies around the globe are, the weaker those who seek to divide us will become. Ladies and gentlemen, from Ukraine's test of ours, from defense to the future of our economies, from the support of democracy and human rights to the role of new technologies in our societies, the sheer volume of topics at this year's forum is a proof of complexity of today's world. But that should not hold us back. It's time to shape the world we want to live in. I wish you many insightful exchanges and enriching encounters. Thank you for your attention.
Mr. Lipavský, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay seated. We'll play a short video right now, and then we'll have a star-studded panel, including Mr. Lipavský, expertly headed by Madame Gamble, on the Russian war on Ukraine. A few minutes, and then we'll have an all-star panel coming up for you. Thank you very much.